I'm Holly Andrews, Integrative Nutrition Health Coach and Executive Wellness Coach. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the kitchen. This week I have a super simple meal that you can actually make 3 different ways, whatever is most convenient for you. I'll show you how I did it, but it is a perfect summer meal and truly interchangeable. If you don't like the protein that I chose, you can pick a different protein. If you don't like the summer vegetables that I chose, pick different in-season vegetables and the meal will still come together beautifully. So what am I talking about? I am talking about my Mediterranean salmon bowl with zucchini and tomatoes. It is so simple to throw together. And again, 3 different ways. I'm giving you 3 different options in the recipe, so check the link in the description for that, and 3 different ways you can make it. 2 of them involve a grill or grill pan, and 1 involves your oven. So really up to you and what your tolerance is, or what you have time for. So check that out. I chose to use the grill and do a foil packet just because I didn't want to mess with the veggie pans for the grill and all of that. And so I just chose to do a foil packet, and I'll show you a little technique that I've come up with for using foil packets. So let's talk about what makes this recipe amazing and cortisol friendly. First of all, I am using salmon as my protein. Again, if you don't like salmon, chicken would be a great protein option here, or whatever your protein of choice is, you can use it in this bowl. But I chose salmon because it has such a high omega-3 content in it. And I just like salmon. I'm the only one that will eat salmon in my family, so I'm making this recipe for myself and I am excited about it. But the salmon, high in omega-3, anti-inflammatory properties, so gonna help keep the inflammation down, supporting our brain health and helping to regulate our cortisol levels. I just love salmon. Salmon and the omega-3 fatty oils in general just help keep stress at a regulated level. We've also got seasonal produce with the zucchini and the tomatoes. The zucchini is full of fiber, but it's easy on digestion, while the tomatoes are full of antioxidants and lycopene, which we need to reduce our stress and related inflammation. So again, wonderful seasonal vegetables that are in season right now. You can grab them from the store, you can grab them from your farmer's markets. Perfect summer produce that is just a complement to the salmon. We've also got a beautiful dressing to go over the salmon and the vegetables with a tahini lemon dressing. So the tahini, again, sesame seed paste, right? It's full of wonderful oils. Plus we've got some olive oil in there. Again, anti-inflammatory oils. The tahini is full of magnesium and healthy fats, again, helping to reduce any kind of inflammation. We've got some lemon juice in this dressing as well. So we're talking vitamin C and antioxidants. So I just love this recipe. All of this together produces blood sugar stability, which helps equal mood stability, right? When our blood sugar stays stable, our mood stays stable, our hormones are happy and healthy, and our cortisol levels are happy and healthy. So wonderful, wonderful dish, full of flavor, full of summer vegetables, and it just comes together super simple. Now, I will say you can choose to make this dish a little heartier than I did today by serving it over something like a hearty grain. So either like some quinoa or some brown rice or maybe even some lentils. That would make even more filling, well-rounded dish. I chose not to do that for the recipe today, but that is certainly a serving suggestion that you can use. So let's talk about how this all comes together. So to make the recipe, the first thing I did, I chopped up 1 zucchini into half moons, and then I took about a pint of cherry tomatoes, sliced them in half, and then sliced about a half of a red onion. The red onion that I had was quite large, so I didn't quite do half, but I put all of that into a bowl and then tossed it with some olive oil, garlic powder, smoked paprika, salt, pepper. I did choose to use garlic infused olive oil here just to have that extra level of flavor. So toss that all together and set that aside. I got my salmon out and it was still a little bit frozen, which is totally fine because I chose to use the foil packet method on the grill, and that foil packet is going to help steam the salmon and keep it nice and moist and flaky and not dried out. So not a problem. that it was still a little bit frozen. I did buy it fresh, our seafood market, with the intention of doing this video a couple of days ago, but I got sick, so I had to wait until I could actually talk without coughing to make this video. So I froze the salmon. Would have preferred it fresh, but it is what it is. So either way, it works. So to make the foil packets, I got out some aluminum foil, laid that out, and then I put a piece of parchment paper on top of that foil. And I did this because I don't like when my food touches aluminum foil. Aluminum foil, when it's heated, leaches metal into our foods. So in trying to eliminate any kind of toxins to get in our food, that I just put the parchment paper down on top of the aluminum foil to try to prevent as much of the food as possible from touching the aluminum foil. So that's my little trick there. You don't have to use it, but that is an option. So once I got my aluminum foil, my parchment paper down, I took about half of the vegetables, put that on top, and then took my salmon fillet, put that on top of the vegetables. I did go ahead and sprinkle it with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper directly on the salmon, since I hadn't seasoned the salmon itself in any other way. And so I got my 2 packets ready. Before I started the packets, I went ahead and got my grill going, and I wanted it to preheat to 400 degrees. Then I got my foil packets ready, and once the grill was ready, I went out and I stuck the foil packets directly on the grill for about 15 minutes. After that, I came back inside and I put together the tahini dressing. So I chose not to use my little mason jar just because tahini can be a little bit stubborn since it's pretty thick. I wanted to use a bowl and a whisk. So I put my lemon juice, my olive oil, my tahini, my salt, and a little bit of honey, some local honey that I picked up from our farmer's market, and mixed that all together. It made a very thick paste, so I used a couple of tablespoons of warm water to thin that out, and it made a nice drizzly dressing. Once the foil packets are done, I will grab them off the grill and plate it up and show you what it all looks like. So all right, here we have our salmon with zucchini and tomatoes and our lemon tahini dressing. Looks amazing, smells amazing. Again, you can serve this over quinoa or rice or lentils if you want something heartier, but for my purposes, this is a perfect light summer meal. And again, 3 different ways you can cook it depending on what you want to do and what you have time for and tolerance for. So check out the link in the description below. Enjoy this recipe, and if you haven't checked out my book, Heal Your Stress from the Inside Out, I would love for you to check that out on Amazon. It's on Kindle and paperback versions. If you get it, read it, leave me an Amazon review and a Goodreads review. I would appreciate it. It would help me out so much. So enjoy this recipe, make it your own. Let me know in the comments how you make it, and if you change it to some different protein or vegetables. I'd love to know the creativity that's out there. So until next time, I'm Holly Andrews, and I believe that you can heal your stress from the inside out.